Good morning, everybody. You know, I woke up this morning and just instantly, the moment I woke up, just kind of had a heaviness on me. And was wondering why that was. You know, didn't know what was going on, and then it dawned on me. It's the 11th of September. And there's a lot that I want to unpack, and I've got a lot that I could say, and maybe should or should not say, on September 11th. "19 years ago, we were attacked. That attack changed a lot of people's lives. It changed the world, the course of history for sure. And I'm telling you, this morning, I was in my word, and what kept coming to me was that when you have these strong negative emotions, they create these strong impressions. They create memories isn't even the word that I'm looking for. Artifacts. They create these artifacts of pain and hurt and despondency, and we latch onto these things. We remember these things. Now, we honor the people who were killed on that day. We honor all of the first responders. We honor everybody that day or the following days after signed on the dotted line and put their ass on the line for this country to go and fight bad people for the good of this nation. I remember when September 11th happened. I knew exactly where I was. I knew exactly what I was doing, like most of the people here. And as I was sitting at my dining room table this morning praying over my Bible, talking to the Father, He made something very clear to me. And I'm going to tell you this morning, at least right now, I've got to momentarily pause the comments because I need to be able to get this thought out. These strong negative emotions create artifacts. These artifacts can be used and are used by the enemy. And especially now, what we're going through, we need to remember that we fight not against flesh and blood, but against nations and principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places. And so we're going to start this brief differently than we start most briefs. Some of y'all are probably going to enjoy it, some of y'all are going to hate it, and that's okay. But understand, I got to do this. So I'm gonna, because there's not a thing that I have that doesn't come from Him. And when He tells me I got to do it, I do it, because it goes really bad for me when I don't. So understand, where are we going with this? Understand that there's only two ways in the Bible, which is just a word for user manual for people, that you cleanse something. One is fire, the other is water. This is completely biblical from the first page of the Bible to the last page of the Bible. You either burn in the pits of hell, which is pretty much extra biblical, but it serves to prove the point, or you're washed in the Spirit, redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. In the Torah, you either pass something through fire to clean it, or you pass it through water to clean it. You're either, your soul is on fire, or you're baptized in the water. The flooding of the Holy Spirit just feels like water. It's like standing in a waterfall. It's kind of what I'm feeling right now, honestly. So fire versus water. The world is on fire right now. The world's been on fire for a long time. And I think where we find ourselves right now is no accident. This is highly coordinated. And if this is highly coordinated, that means that we need to remember that this is warfare. If you've ever received a document or a letter or a note from me, you know that I sign my correspondence Exodus 15:3. Yahweh is a warrior. Yahweh is a name. The Lord your God is a warrior. And you were fearfully and wonderfully created in his image for a purpose for this time. It is not an accident that you find yourself here right now. And so if we are in a firefight, how do we deal with that fire? That water, that baptism of the Holy Spirit. And now I know a lot of people are probably ready to just turn this off right now, and men, and I'm talking specifically to men at this point, hang with me. Because so many people have been sold this hippy-dippy, soft, passive, meek idea that Jesus was a really nice guy. There's nothing further from the truth. And you've been sold that idea to keep you complacent, so you keep throwing money in the plate every time it comes around at church, so you can fund that corporate churchianity. You don't crucify really nice guys. Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ, was a dangerous and powerful rebel. He was a man fully indwelt by Elohim, the Lord our God. He was strong. He was filled with righteous anger at times. And I'm just going to show you a few examples this morning of biblically strong men. Because I believe what we need to combat, yes, combat this fire that we find ourselves being consumed by, are biblically strong men. And so, if you'll allow me, rather than holding this brief for a moment, I'm going to hold this Bible for a moment. And I will do my best to be succinct. Starting in Genesis, we find Abram, whose life was a train wreck. In Genesis 14, and I'll be quick, his life was a train wreck until he is blessed by Melchizedek. The only thing that's missing from Abram's story is a pallet of Keystone Light and Jerry Springer. Okay? He was total redneck, but he gets his act together. Good morning, honey. So starting in Genesis 14, verse 12. And they, these kings that Abram's going to fight, and they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and left. And the one who had escaped came and informed Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt by the terebinth trees of Mamre, that the Amorite, the brother of Eshcol, the brother of Aner, and they had a covenant with Abram. And when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his 318 trained servants, who were born in his own house, and went in pursuit as far as Dan. Oh, you took my brother and my cousin? Oh, hell no. Abram kits up 318 guys. And he and his servants divided against them by night, and struck them and pursued them as far as Hova, which is on the left of Damascus. And so he brought back, and they won. And so he brought back all the goods, and also brought back his brother Lot and his goods, as well as the women and the people. And after his return from the striking of Kedorlaomer, and the kings who were with him, the kings of Sodom, came out to meet him at the valley of Shaveh, that is the King's Valley. So Abram, I'm not going to get too deep in all this. He then receives his blessing from Melchizedek, and he becomes the patriarch of Israel. Israel means the Father's chosen people. Literally means he who is struggling with Elohim, he who is overcome with Elohim, and he who is ruling with Elohim. So Abraham, first book of the Bible, 318 guys. Oh, you stole my cousin, watch this. And it's important to understand in context here, there were 5 armies arrayed against Abraham. He had 318 guys. He doesn't lose one. He beats the piss out of 5 armies, and then they haul back home. Fast forward to Numbers, Phineas, and I'm just showing you guys this because I know for me, nobody showed me this in my Bible when I was a young man, and nobody told it to me as I was an older man. I had to discover this for myself, the concept of being a biblically strong man. I kept seeing Messiah as some dude wearing a tie-dye t-shirt sitting around a campfire singing Kumbaya. Not the case. Not the case at all. Phineas, Numbers 25, verse 7. And Phineas, the son of Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, saw it. What did he see? He saw an abomination amongst Israel. And he rose up from among the congregation and took a spear in his hand. And he went after the man of Israel and into the tent and thrust both of them through, the man of Israel and the woman through her belly. Thus the plague among the children of Israel came to a stop. Phineas was counted a saint, essentially, because he took a spear and he ran 2 people through. Why? Because they were out of line. And you know what? What does it say after that? And Yahweh, the Lord your God, spoke to Moses, saying, Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, has turned back my wrath from the children of Israel, because he was ardent with my ardor in their midst. So I did not consume the children of Israel in my ardor. Therefore say, see, I am giving him my covenant of peace. The Father blessed it. Caleb. Caleb is a total badass. Absolute badass. Caleb in the book of Joshua 14. Assuming that I can find my own book of Joshua. Joshua, chapter 14. Starting in verse 6. And the children of Judah came to Joshua in Gilgal, and Caleb, son of the Jephunneh the Kenizzite, said, you know the word which Yahweh said to Moshe, the Lord our God said to Moses, the man of Elohim, concerning you and me in Kadesh Barnea. I was 40 years old when Moses, the servant of Yah, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to spy out the land, and I brought back word to him as it was in my heart. But my brothers who went up with me made the heart of the people melt. But I followed Yahweh my Elohim completely. So Moses swore on that day, saying, the land on which your foot has trodden is your inheritance and your children's forever, because you have followed Yahweh my Elohim completely. And now see, Yahweh has kept me alive, and he has said these 45 years since Yahweh spoke this word to Moshe, and Israel walked in the wilderness. And now see, I'm 85 years old today, yet I am still as strong today as I was the day that Moses sent me. And as my strength was then, so my strength is now, for battle, for going out and for coming in. And now, give me this mountain of which Yahweh spoke to me in that day. For you heard in that day how the Anakim, the giants, were there, and that the cities were great and walled. If Yahweh is with me, I shall dispossess them, as Yahweh said. And Joshua blessed him, and gave Hebron to Caleb, son of Jephunneh, as an inheritance. Now the name of Hebron was formerly Kiriath Arba. Arba was the greatest man among the Anakim, among the giants, and the land had rest from fighting. Fast forward just a moment. And Caleb, son of Jephunneh, gave a portion in the midst of the children of Judah, according to the mouth of Yahweh, to Joshua, Kiriath Arba, that is in Hebron. Arba was the father of the Anakim. And Caleb drove out the 3 sons of Anak from there, Sheshai, Ahiman, and Talmai, the children of Anak. Caleb was 40 years old when he went in to spy out the promised land. The Israelites rejected it. They wander in the wilderness for 40 years, so now he's 80. They get back to the promised land. They have 5 years of fighting once they get to the promised land. He's 80 to 85 years old, swinging an axe daily daily in warfare. When all that's done, he goes to Joshua and says, hey bro, I want that mountain just like Moses said. And Joshua says, you can have it, but there be giants up in those hills, son. And Caleb says, dude, I'm as good today as the day Moses tapped me on the shoulder. Let's go. Joshua says, if you can take it, it's yours. And he goes up there in the promised land at 85 years old and slays not one, not two, but 3 giants at 85 years old in the Bible. Samson and Judges. Samson rips a lion in half when the spirit of Yahweh comes upon him. Then he kills 30 Philistines by himself when the spirit of Yah comes upon him. And then when the rest of the Philistines find out that he killed 30 Philistines, 3,000 men of Judah come, his own guys come to arrest him because they're like, dude, you're out of control. 3,000 men. And they hand him over to the Philistines. What happens when they hand him over to the Philistines? The ropes that are binding him start burning, turn to like hot coals. He's filled with the spirit. He picks up the jawbone of an ass, a donkey, and proceeds to beat 1,000 Philistines to death with it. Because the spirit of Yahweh was on him. So I'm telling you, this concept that biblical men earmuffs everybody, we're pussies, is bullshit. Elijah, the prophet of Yahweh, says, oh yeah, you got 450 prophets of Baal? Watch this. I will call down fire from the sky. Yahweh's fire, and he does. And then what does he do? One man rounds up 450 prophets of Baal and puts all of them to the sword. All of them. One dude. King David slays giants. King David had his own special forces, 43 men that worked for him, that literally were his special forces, all of his top guys. And they went around wrecking house. When there was warfare, they went around wrecking house. Fast forward out of the line of King David to Yeshua, Jesus, who literally in John chapter 2, verse 13, walks into the temple, sees it's filled with a bunch of merchants and goes, nope. Leaves, makes a cord of whips. He braids a whip, like Indiana Jones whip, comes back, starts flipping tables, beating people with a whip, and grabbing them by the neck and throwing them out of the temple. So remember, the next time you see a little "What Would Jesus Do" bracelet, it literally includes throwing MFers out of the temple by their necks, beating people with whips, and flipping tables if they are not in service to the Most High. And then lastly, and I'm trying to be brief here, lastly, Revelation 19. Yeshua, Jesus, the Christ, when he returns, what do we know from John 16? That the Holy Spirit, that baptism, that water that combats this fire that the entire world has been set alight with, that water, that baptism by the Holy Spirit in John 16, that the Holy Spirit will convict us concerning sin, righteousness, and judgment. And judgment is in Revelation 19, verse 11. And I saw the heaven opened, and there was a white horse, and he who sat upon him was called Trustworthy and True. And in righteousness he judges and makes war. And his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, having a name that had been written, which no one had perceived except himself. And having been dressed in a robe, dipped in blood, his name is called the Word of Yahweh. This is Jesus. This is Yeshua. This is your Messiah. And the armies in the heavens, dressed in fine linen, white and clean, followed him on white horses. And out of his mouth goes a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations. And he shall shepherd them with a rod of iron. And he treads the winepress in the fierceness and the wrath of El Shaddai. And on his robe and on his thigh he has a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And I saw one messenger, an angel, standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice to all the birds in mid-heaven, saying, come and gather together for the supper of the great Elohim, to eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of commanders, and the flesh of strong ones, and the flesh of horses, and of those who sit upon them, and the flesh of all people, free and slave, both small and great. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him who sat on his horse and his army. And the beast was seized, and with him the false prophet, who worked signs in his presence, by which he led astray those who received the mark of the beast and those who worshipped his image. And the two were thrown alive into the lake of fire, burning with sulfur. And the rest were killed with the sword, which came from the mouth of him, Yeshua, Jesus the Christ, who sat on the horse, and all the birds were filled with their flesh. So you can follow Yeshua, or you can be bird food. You can light the world on fire, or you can be baptized in the Spirit. And I'm telling you, the world right now needs biblically strong men. There's not another way I know how to combat what we are experiencing, because yeah, plate carriers matter. Yeah, carbines matter. But they don't matter if you're not right here. They don't matter if you're not right here. In fact, I would submit you're part of the problem, not the solution, if you're not right here, if you're not right with him, if you're not being led by him to do these things. You're only at best complicating things for myself and yourself and everybody else. Joshua 1 verse 6, be strong and courageous, for you are to let this people inherit the land which I swore to their fathers to give them. Only be strong and very courageous, to guard to do according to all the Torah which Moshe my servant commanded you. Do not turn from it right or left, so that you act wisely wherever you go. Do not let this book of the Torah depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, so that you guard to do according to all that is written in it. For then you shall make your way prosperous and act wisely. Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous? Do not be afraid, nor be discouraged, for Yahweh, your Elohim, the Lord your God, is with you wherever you go. There's a, get away from me, dog, I'll beat you with my Bible. Now I'm gonna turn the comments back on, and I realize this is not how we do briefs or how we start briefs, but I want you to know I was convicted to see that in my Bible this morning and to say that to y'all, to do this with y'all. And I don't know another way to combat evil than through that word, period, the end. And if we are going to be engaged in battle with evil, which we are, we fight not against flesh and blood, but against nations and principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places. And this armor only matters if you've only already put on the armor of the Most High. So for the 912 of you that are still here, bless y'all. I appreciate you. Gosh dang. Crushed. Love y'all back. Crushed. Fair Independent Intel Report, September 11th, 2020. 19 years ago today, we were attacked. Overview. Reportedly, As part of research into the impacts of social media on the 2020 election, Facebook and Instagram will be paying some to deactivate their accounts for up to 6 weeks prior to Election Day. If they contact you, find out how much they're paying, because I'll make a bunch of Facebook accounts and deactivate all of them, depending on how much they want to pay me to do it. Trump has said that money is ready to go for another round of stimulus checks, but lawmakers are still at a standstill. And in the wake of the hurricane, the mosquitoes are swarming so thickly that livestock are dying. They are moving so much to avoid the mosquitoes and are losing so much blood that they become anemic and exhausted. The deaths of between 300 to 400 cattle and at least 30 deer have already been confirmed. Some aerial spraying has begun to break up the swarms. Sunrise, bless you. Danielle, I had the same question. Are these the 750 million mosquitoes that they recently released in Florida? Arson. A few days ago, a Bear National submitted a timesheet with locations of started brush fires showing likely arson. It was not confirmable, but now multiple sources in emergency response are confirming that fires along the West Coast are being caused by dozens of arsonists. The arson is suspected to be linked to Antifa. Citizens are encouraged to report any suspicious activity. One man has already been arrested in connection with the arson. There has been looting after evacuations. And I have secondhand, has secondhand information from somebody in that area that one sheriff's department arrested 7. Sheriff's department had arrested 6 people. I got this intel yesterday afternoon. Another sheriff's department arrested 6 Antifa punks setting fires. So, oh yeah, that video PJ posted today is phenomenal. And let's see, the U.S. has rejected over 1,000 Chinese visas due to links to the Chinese military. That's cool. 2 or more eyewitness accounts, continuity of infrastructure and supply chains. Repeating, shortages include ammo, firearms, coin, aluminum cans, home appliances, pressure-treated lumber, canning supplies, personal protective equipment, medical testing supplies and equipment, medical ventilation-related products, select Clorox products, select construction materials, and more. Essentially everything. Everything's hard to get. Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. The PJF video this morning is phenomenal. If you're not a $1 or more patron of Pastor Joe Fox of Viking Preparedness on Patreon, you're missing out. That repost was crazy. And you know what got me? In fact, I commented on his video. That video was shot in 1969. 1969, the date of that video that he reposted, plus the 52-year war cycle from Divine Numerics and the Coming World War by Dr. Michael McGee is, drumroll please, 2021, the date of inauguration of the current presidential election. Just saying. Eyes to see, ears to hear. You know, I had I thought it was a really good live stream with Angry American last night on Facebook, and Bear Nation, thank y'all for turning out, because from what I understand, I couldn't see the comments, but I had 3 people sitting here on the porch, I think that were at 4. How many of y'all were all watching that at the same time? 3 of them. I had 3 people all sitting here trying to police the comments at the same time, and let's just say the world knows when the Bear Nation shows up. So you guys are awesome. Thank you for being there. I really appreciate y'all being there. But we were talking about what do we think comes next. Dudley, I know you was there. Everybody knows you was there. Shalom, Puzzleman. Gosh dang, I think we could have a legitimate civil war coming. And I say that with zero joy. There's nothing about that. It brings me even the slightest joy to say, I think we could have a legit civil war coming. So, on board that. On board that. Legal, political, and military. Unsurprisingly, 63% of Portlanders are unhappy with Mayor Ted Wheeler. Ya think? Iron Man, good morning, JK Iron Man. Bless you, brother. And Portland has voted to ban facial recognition technology. That's good. Maybe Badger, just maybe they're like pulling their heads out of their asses. Shalom, Tommy Salter. I heard you was there last night too. San Francisco's city-owned gyms for officers and employees remained open, while private gyms were forced to remain closed. Private gym owners are shocked and infuriated. You think? You know, good morning, Teresa Harris. The idea that the government would tell you not to do something and then do it themselves shouldn't shock and infuriate anybody. Do this all the time. It's just the way they operate. Look at Nancy Pelosi. Did you see, either of y'all see that artwork by that artist Sabo with Nancy Pelosi? Blow me. That is the best caption. That is the best caption ever. You didn't see that? Google Nancy Pelosi blow me. That is, I need a poster of that. Like, the size of a 4x8 sheet of plywood. You know, I love that. And then he also did one where he went down to the backboard of a basketball hoop and put Biden's picture up there. Said, "You ain't black if you can't make this shot." It's like perfect. Like just throwing it right in the, you know, it's like that guy's perfect. Dustin, yeah, apparently Canadian Prepper did make a video. I haven't watched it, but some of my people have, and you know, to their credit, they said it was actually pretty funny. But here's the thing, man. So, okay, should we all make fun of Canadians, eh? Am I gonna get a sharp stick and poke people in the eye with it when the world ends, you know, because I'm not really allowed to have any guns, you know? Like, and whatever. Like, whatever, man. I got bigger problems. We all got bigger problems than what Canadian Prepper did or didn't say about the Bear Nation. That dude can have all of his own opinions, and that's great, man. That's great. Good for him. You know what? If I waste a single moment thinking about, oh no, sorry, Canuck, sorry, not sorry, but actually sorry, eh? I don't really know. I'm trying to actually be sorry, but I don't know how to be sorry, Canuck. Here's the thing. If I waste a moment worrying about what Canadian Prepper did or didn't say, that's a moment that I'm not putting food in buckets, not working on this place, not building meaningful relationships, I'm not doing the things if I'm sitting around worrying about what he said. And I'll tell you truthfully, somebody sent us an email saying, hey, Bear, we think he's talking bad about you. You should check it out. And for about, let me not lie, 5 minutes, I was a little butthurt. I was like, really? This passive-aggressive effing a-hole, why would he do that? And then you know what? I realized, first of all, I don't know that he did that because I didn't watch it. And second of all, I ain't got time to watch it anyway. So what difference does it make? If he did, he did. If he didn't, he didn't. At the end of the day, my life changes not one bit. I got stuff to do. Y'all got stuff to do. Bless you, Deborah H. So, but listen, hey, if he comes walking up in here with one of his crossbows or something, I'm going to stick a shark stick right in his eye, because we don't have any of that ammunitions. The government took it all, you know. But if you'll probably fall into the pit of maple syrup that I got out there. We made a punji pit with maple syrup and sharp sticks, you know. So if you can show up, and I'll push you into it, you know. But after that, I'll probably pull you out and clean you up, make you some nice pancakes or something, and we'll sit down and have a very strongly worded conversation about why you shouldn't be trying to take my food or hurt my people, you know, because it's just not nice. It's just not nice. You shouldn't do that. Don't do it. Don't. And then, okay, now be on your way. Here's a couple of Molsons for the road. All right, have a good one. All right, bye now. Sorry, not sorry. Anyway, whatever. BearIndependent.com. Listen, by popular demand, we announced these things on Patreon yesterday, but so many of y'all have been asking for the Cub Kit. You'll see the detailed videos on what's in a Cub Kit coming out later today. But this is the Cub Kit Pro. So we have the Cub Kit and the Cub Kit Pro. Understand that the ones that we ship won't have rubber bands. They'll have super cool tactical black shock cord here holding this on, not rubber bands. What the F is poutine? It's delicious diabetes. Iron Man, I have not seen the packages yet, brother. It was sad the way he did it. Somebody said, love your neighbor as yourself. Yes, love thy neighbor as thyself. Love thy neighbor. Y'all make fun of whoever you want, but we should all love each other. We should, but of course that begs the question, who's your neighbor? And the last time I checked, Canada didn't bump up against Oklahoma, eh? Just saying. No, I love our Canadians. I just also, you know, gosh, I get feisty sometimes. Anyway, this is the Cub Kit Pro. There's a Cub Kit and a Cub Kit Pro, and this is the Cub Kit Pro. These come in red, black, gray, navy blue, which is very cool, OD green, and coyote tan. Red, black, gray, blue, coyote tan, OD green. Yeah, I'm a little feisty, Jim. Little. So this is the Pro, okay? Yes, this isn't a Condor pouch, but hey, this is why we can offer this at $139, and it is literally everything you need in here to deal with combat casualty stuff. The regular Cub Kit, the straight up Cub Kit's $79. The Cub Kit Pro is $139, okay? Cat tourniquet on the outside. Shears on the outside. This is on a Condor EMT rip-away light pouch, okay? So you can molly this onto your whatever. Then you got this here in your hand. And then what's inside of this thing? This is a little difficult to do, being like this, you know. Okay, so up in here, we've got, these are some Nitro Gloves, because the rule on gloves is if it's wet and not yours, put gloves on before you touch it, okay? That's the rule. And you got some duct tape here. And then in the back, you got some quick clot rolled gauze right here, just right there. That's for wound packing, you know. We've got a nasal pharyngeal airway. That's for maintaining the air into your face so that it gets to your brain so that you don't die and turn into a zombie. Then I got to shoot you with my crossbow. We got two 5x9 pads here. These are for if you suffer any kind of trauma and there's blood squirting out of your arm. We're going to slap these over the top of there. And then we'll probably use some organic honey and some oats to make a nice wound packing thing to stick it on top of there to hold it still. We'll probably braid some hemp rope that I learned how to do that from Survival Lily. She came to my house one time and we walked back into the woods and she showed me how to make some rope. But also, we've got some high fin chest seals here, and these are for if you get shot in the chest and there's a hole in your chest, you put these over the top of the hole in your chest, because there shouldn't be any holes in your chest. You got exactly the number of holes in you that you need.
If you make more of them or cover up the ones that you got, you're probably gonna die, okay? Sorry, not sorry, but that's pretty terrible. So all that stuff's in the back here, and so you want to stuff that down in the pouch like so. So you know, anywho, that goes like that, and then we put this back in here. This quick clot bleeding control dressing. And then down here on the bottom, you know, in addition to this here cat tourniquet, you got a SWAT T tourniquet, because these are for the cubs, and the cubs have the small diameter limbs, okay? And so the small diameter limbs don't work in, they don't be working so great with these cat tourniquets right here. The cat tourniquets are great for all the things, but not for small diameter limbs, so we have a SWAT T. You can also use the SWAT T in conjunction with the 5x9s that are up here, because then you can make an improvised pressure dressing, which is really, really good to have in case the blood is squirting out of your arm after you were moose fighting or something like that. Or maybe you were hockey fighting with a Puerto Rican, and instead of taking their flip-flop off, they took their ice skate off, and it cut you all open with their ice skate because they were trying to do the flip-floppy things, but it was an ice skate. So now you need multiple pressure dressings. So you got 5x9s up here, you got a SWAT T down here. Yeah, you know you've been Taylor Swift as a dude. You know you've been all hammered up on some Molson XXX, and you got done with the hockey game. You're like, I'm gonna go punch a moose. Everybody punches a moose every now and then. So you got the SWAT T. You got some North American Rescue compressed gauze right here, also for the wound packing. And then behind all of that, you got a 4-inch North American Rescue fold flat pressure dressing. Well, this is basically like a giant Band-Aid that you're gonna, you know, if you've been out to the bars or something, and say you, after you're done, you're gonna go out to a nice restaurant and get yourself a giant plate full of poutine, and somebody gets out of line and you crack a beer bottle over the top of their head. You take one of these and you wrap it around their head so that the blood stays in the body, because basic rule about humans is if all the blood comes out of your body, you're gonna die. So anyway, so you know, that's the Cub Kit Pro right there, and we're very proud of it, and you should probably buy one for all your hockey games or your moose fighting or whatever you might have going out there. You have a terrible crossbow incident, you need to not bleed to death and die. So sorry, not sorry. Okay, that's the Cub Kit Pro, and you can get the Cub Kit. Yeah, somebody said, do you have something to throw in the kid's backpack? Get the Cub Kit. Okay, so these are all on introductory pricing right now for y'all. You asked for them, there they are. We still got all the other kits, and they are HSA and FSA eligible. The Cub Kits are, so if you got a flexible savings account, thank you, Crazy Canuck. If you have a flexible spending account or a health savings account, you can use those things as well. And Saskatchewan A, all right then. Okay, whatever you say there, you know. Y'all asked for them. They're here by popular demand. Bless y'all. Go check them out. All right, societal in general. Amazon is looking to hire. Oh, I do want to say one thing though, because as I understand it, in Mr. Canadian Prepper's video, he said that you should keep religion and prepping separate. You shouldn't bring religion into prepping. Well, first of all, what the hell are you doing anyway, trying to perpetuate a life that's separate from the Most High? Second, I don't know if you noticed how I opened the brief this morning, but he and I would disagree on that. So, sorry, not sorry. Yeah. Exactly, Chad. But whatever. That's cool. He's just angry because he lost that moose fight. Societal in general. Amazon is looking to hire 33,000 people for corporate and tech roles in the next few months. That's wonderful. All bow to Bezos, supreme leader. If you want your 2-day shipping. And after Austin, Texas voted to defund the police, the Texas Municipal Police Association put up billboards saying, "Austin Police defunded, enter at your own risk." Governor Abbott commented last week that he would consider moving the Austin Police Department under the Texas Department of Public Safety. To which I would say, that's cute, Abbott, and I like you a lot, but why does the state of Texas now have to fund the Austin Police Department with their money when Austin taxpayers have very clearly been having money taken out of their paychecks and essentially robbed at gunpoint from their small businesses to pay for the Austin PD, which now no longer is being employed by the city of Austin? That's a mess. Now, don't get me wrong. I want police officers in Austin. I just think it's a bad idea to use state funds to pay for municipal departments. You reap what you sow. If I was Austin PD, I'd just be like, oh, cool, we're rogue now? And I would just continue to be the Austin PD. Okay. I want a wall around Austin. Yeah, to keep them in. I'm sorry there, Tyrus Rex, eh? It's okay. Are you like one of them Rexes with the little tiny arms out the front, you know? Or do you hate hand grenades? Because T-Rexes hate hand grenades because they can't throw them very far. It's terrible for them. I don't even know how they pull the pin. They gotta... Yeah, T-Rexes also hate push-ups, you know? But they don't be skipping leg day. I don't know if you noticed those guys. And political tension is becoming more pronounced even within the Catholic Church. Father James Altman said in a video, quote, "You cannot be Catholic and be a Democrat, period. The party platform absolutely is against everything the Catholic Church teaches. Repent of your support of that party and its platform or face the fires of hell," end quote. His comments were publicly endorsed by Texas Bishop Jay Strickland. Shalom, crazy Kanake. Hey, be careful out there. It's, listen, it's September. There's probably 14 foot of snow up there, so be careful, all right? So, yeah, just, you know, take it easy. Take it easy. Say hello to my good friend Mike Holmes. Holmes Makes It Right. I love that show, okay? Yeah, if you bump into him. Listen, me and the Catholic Church don't get along. We don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. But I would buy Father James Altman a beer. I think he earned it. He can at least hang out on the back porch now. You know, geez. You cannot be Catholic and be a Democrat, period. The party platform is absolutely against everything the Catholic Church teaches. Repent of your support of that party and its platform or face the fires of hell. Yep. I would give that guy a glass of Blanton's. Not just a beer. He could have a glass of Blanton's. Single accounts, insider intel, and miscellaneous. Now, I want to bring up with single accounts. Jerry and Lucia of Sanctified Supply Co. are currently threatened by wildfire in their area. This is a quote. Jerry just advised they've scrapped their planned overstock sale and are going to load up and hit the road. As I understand it, they've already left. Is that correct, honey? They're getting a U-Haul today so they can get on the road. Please include them in prayer coverage. The fires, seems they're all arson, but I don't know that for sure yet, have demolished several towns in the Rogue Valley to the east of them and are threatening many more. One fire blew through 30K today. So, please be lifting up Jerry and Lucia in prayer as they're bugging out today. And guys, we talk about this all the time. First of all, if you live in a place like this, you still need a bug out location. The bug out location is the place that you go that is not where you are. It cannot, therefore, ergo, it cannot be where you are. Right? If something bad happens here, you have to be able to remove yourself from the bad thing that's happening here and go somewhere else. Okay? So, even if you live in a Shangri-La like this. This is not my bug out location. It's where I live, okay? Next is, I tell y'all all the time, very likely the reason you will have to bug out is not because of Antifa or the DHS or because Panamanian paratroopers just landed in your backyard. It's because of natural disasters and grid down events. Most of the time, those two things are connected. So start onboarding that into your daily OODA loop, okay? What are you gonna do if you have to bug out? Not because the Chinese landed in California, but because there's a fire right over there and the fire department is banging on your door saying you have 5 minutes to leave. What does that actually look like for you? Right? Cool. Southern Oregon is smoke-filled and there are still numerous fires in Jackson County. Others continue to burn upstate also. The I-5 freeway is closed at the Oregon-California border. The air quality is like sucking an exhaust pipe. And in Rochester, New York, quote, on night 7, they painted Black Lives Matter on one street. Murderers was painted in front of a public safety building, and Resign was painted in front of the city hall. The city covered them up, but while they were covering up the BLM one, someone complained. So the city stopped and washed off the cover-up and repainted it even brighter. What a bunch of cucks. And after the initial crazy in the first few days, the riots have remained tense, but not destructive yet. They instructed people not to film protesters' faces at the beginning of it last night, and as a result, it was insanely difficult to find any live streams last night. Content of character matters. All that is necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. We have a letter from a Bear National, and by the way, we need passports. We need Bear National passports. Like, have you been traveling amongst the Bear Nation? Yes. The stamp is just the bear logo. Ka-cha! It's this right there. Boom. From someone 30 miles from Rochester. Quote, we are doing the things to get out, starting the process of trying to find a place to transfer my parents until we can make our new place safe to bring them home. People need to know that there are people in these areas that did not vote for this. My family has lived here for 50 years. My husband's family much longer. It was our home. Now we don't feel welcome. Please reach out to people you know in these areas. Y'all blessed us and allowed us to get out. I have friends in the city that are financially trapped, working to find ways to get them out as well. The line in the sand has been drawn. Sadly, there are too many friends and family on the other side of that line. Brother against brother, it's the hardest part about this. "20 years ago, I left upstate New York. Had enough. The city council was becoming infected with people from downstate New York. And I remember the day they made it illegal. It was a $250 fine to put a blue tarp on your firewood because blue tarps were an eyesore and they didn't want people to have to look at the blue tarps. And so me being me, I sold firewood at the time. I went to the hardware store and I bought every blue tarp they had, and I was giving them away for free when you bought a cord of wood as a middle finger to the city council. And then, yep, that's how I roll. And then I said, you know what though? These effeminate soy boy a-holes, they're just gonna keep running this town. It's only gonna get worse. And I packed up my stuff and I went on the road. So if you live in a place that gets to fine you $250 because you have the wrong color tarp on your firewood, You don't have freedom anymore. And if you see any, and I use that as a teachable moment, that if you see anything even remotely like that, put a stop to it or get out. All right. In international news, Beirut's explosion-ravaged port has caught fire again. This sent residents into a bit of a panic. Some were running in fear, others were opening windows and yelling warnings of fire. The cause is unknown at the time of this writing. Good morning, Diggin'. And in a section called Actionable AF, brought to you by AdventureFrontier.com. Adventure Frontier, guys. They got your armor. They got your IFAKs. They got your fluffy bunnies. I was just poking around his website this morning, the NWA Prepper. And, do we need somebody to go? Michael, what's going on? Who's Jay? Oh, Jay is being encouraged to move. Good for you. All right, good for you, Michael. I was like, who's Jay? Do we gotta throw Jay out? Somebody just GTFO'd Jay. It's like, no, you're giving him the brotherly bear encouragement. Good, that's wonderful. Good morning, Stumps, Roots, and Shoots. Puzzleman, bless you, brother. AdventureFrontier.com. Like, legit, I tell you guys every day, if you need armor, go get it from them. But they're awesome people. They're awesome people. And so, if you're going to support people, please try and support awesome people. Yeah, what did you do, Jay? Take it down a notch. Jeez. You know, is the world ending? Maybe. Okay, good. Support good people then. Support good people. You know, I did click around their website a little bit, and I clicked around the internet a little bit, and I found some of the things they sell for like $1 or $2 less other places. And I was like, you know what? I don't care. It's AdventureFrontier.com. Them's is my peeps. Good morning, NWA Prepper. See right there. The Nude Wrestling Association and Preparedness. I mean, I'm telling you, I love this brother, but anywhere, if you go anywhere around him and you see a kiddie pool filled with Jell-O, it's time to run, because he will side suplex you right into it, and it's going to get weird, right? But I really do love the fact that he's so into preparedness, and so anyway, right here. Gosh, I love messing with you, brother. The NWA Prepper is awesome. He's the proprietor of AdventureFrontier.com, and he's a great dude. He's a really, really great dude. And so you're supporting people like him, regardless of his strange Jell-O fantasies. He's a phenomenal guy. And so if you're going to buy some stuff, please buy it from them. He is my friend in real life and our brother, and a long time supporter of the Bear Nation. Like when we were in the hundreds of subs, he was here with us. So you can use promo code Bear Nation at AdventureFrontier.com. Get $10 off your armor orders, and they have armor, they have IFAKs, and they have fluffy bunnies. So check them out. Actionable AF, brought to you by AdventureFrontier.com. Uline.com has canning jars and related supplies. There is a wait time for some items. We've been talking about this Omegle app. It's called Talk to Strangers, Omegle, or not. If your children have this app, Omegle, or Omegle, or however the hell you pronounce that, Oscar, Mike, Echo, Golf, Lima, Echo, Omegle. Get rid of it now. There are no safety guidelines or parental controls for this, and there are reported to be a lot of adult perverts intentionally interacting with children through this app. If your children need social interaction, this is not the way to get it. Yes, Stumps, Roots, and Shoots, you are correct. The Cub Fac is in the store. I am getting close to 100K. I didn't even look to see how many we had this morning. So that's awesome. Over half of recent storm-related deaths have been from carbon monoxide poisoning. Never run a generator in any enclosed space, even in a garage with the door open. 98.9, roger that. Thank you. Check your hand sanitizers. Don't smoke them or drink them or eat them or snort them. The FDA has continued warnings about various hand sanitizers containing dangerous and lethal alcohols. If you need medical supplies, you can of course check out bearindependent.com. You can also look at midwife and veterinarian supply stores. And if you need buckets, check out local bakeries, ice cream shops, and places that sell pickles. Feed stores is also a good place. If you need foodstuffs, remember that Asian supply stores, Amish and Mennonite stores, restaurant supply stores, local farmers, and many LDS canneries have stuff. Go see them. And you can and should form groups to buy direct and process live. If you cannot obtain seed in your area, use your pantry. Bulk popcorn seed, dry beans, seeds found inside of ripe squash and tomatoes, potatoes that have been left to sprout eyes, and so forth. By the way, it's becoming freaking fall, man. If you're gonna plant a garden, today might be a good time. Otherwise, see you in the springtime. I mean, it's not cold this morning, but it certainly ain't warm this morning. Which is a welcome change, since I was pretty sure, like, just a couple days ago, I was gonna die of heat exhaustion. So, Oklahoma, where white guys fall over with heat stroke. Is that how that song goes? I think that's how it goes. You know why it's so windy in Oklahoma? Because Kansas sucks and Texas blows. Just kidding. Just kidding. My dad's side of the family is all from Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. So, I just love that joke. Oh, boy. You like that, Dudley? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm here all week. Shut up, Rooster. Be in communication with your neighbors and sheriff's department and be prepared as a group for civil unrest. Yes, winter crops, bro. I know winter crops, bro. All the winter crops, bro. Reach out and socially support others, including children and the elderly, and as always, stay politically vigilant and active. Silver linings. By the grace of God, I was guided to listen to Bear a lot last year and began prepping food storage hard and filled my balcony with pots, and thank God I was able to harvest a great amount of potatoes, tomatoes, and various other food items. I'm not quite out of Her My People yet, but still trying to build those skills so that I can hit the ground running if eventually I do, God willing. Thanks for all you do. That is awesome. I don't know, these crazy preppers that are trying to bring God into the equation. I heard it from a recent authority on the subject that was a bad idea. But it's okay. I think he suffered a traumatic brain injury during a catastrophic fall at a hockey game, so whatever. After some searching, one man had given up for the day. He stumbled on buckets and lids at his local grocery store bakery. Nice. He probably also got some diabetes. Oh my gosh. That rooster just tried to fight the tom turkey. Oh gosh, it's going down. Backyard brawls. Hold on. This is important, y'all. See this? Get him, Tom. Get him. Get him. Get him, Tom. Get him. Get him, Tom. I got money on the turkey. I got $100 on the turkey. Get him, Tom. Run away, boy. It's like that Pantera song. Walk on home, boy. Where'd you go?
Anti-rooster device. On safe. Good work, Tom. Good work, Tom. Turkeys are badass. They really are. If you don't have turkeys, but you have a homestead, you should get some turkeys. Because they don't all day. They're bigger. They're more meat, easier to clean. Like you can clean one turkey and get as much meat as cleaning 10 chickens. They're excellent foragers. They're great for reclaiming land. Oh yeah, that blue tarp. I guess I gotta pay nobody $250 for that tarp over there. So, turkeys, highly recommended. Shut up, chicken. Let's see. Next, One Bear National discovered a lady and her parents were nearly out of food and gas to run a borrowed generator needed to run an oxygen machine. Quote, being a prepper, I think I can spare a week's worth of food for this lady and her elderly parents. Shalom and praise the Most High. These crazy preppers bringing God into this thing again. It's insane. That's awesome. That's why we do this. Positions of strength. So that you can be good, so you can help other people get good. And one person said, the house smells like pears as I canned my first ever pears and made cowboy candy with my new pressure canner. I'm enjoying doing the things as my wife comes on board more and more. We have a good start on food storage and we are okay on ammo and the garden did well this year. With a wonderful wife starting to see the light, life is good. Amen. Wild turkey bad, causes a hangover. These are domesticated turkeys. They're filtered better than the wild ones. Yeah. They're hard to get into a square bottle, though. And I haven't figured out how to milk them. I mean, is that where wild turkey comes from? How do you milk a turkey? Let's see. Notes. Y'all can find each other at the forums at bearindependent.com. All your swagging gear, your bear stuff, the hats, patches, stickers, t-shirts, prepper notebooks, all that stuff can be found in the store at bearindependent.com. I had the honor of speaking with a gentleman from Michigan yesterday who was involved in that 800-person, started as a mag, now is a mag-litia up there. And I was in between calls at the office, and I said, I'm going to call this guy. He's been sitting in my inbox for like 10 days, 2 weeks, and I just haven't had the time. And so we spoke, and one of the things, it was a very encouraging phone call. But one of the things that I thought was really cool is we were talking about standards and curricula. And he goes, we use the prepper classroom. He's like, I just send everybody to the prepper classroom. I'm like, that's awesome to know that like there's that many people out there doing the things in one place and their standard is the prepper classroom. So dude, that's awesome. So that's what it's there for. Like that's why it's there. That's why it's free on YouTube. Hey, how do I prepper classroom? And then the prepper notebook, which is in the store, is the companion to the prepper classroom. So you don't have to take all those notes if you don't want to. It's already written down in the notebook. So yeah, I'm very encouraged by that. It makes it worthwhile for me when I get to talk to y'all out in the Bear Nation and see the fruit, you know, see it, to know that the seed has fallen on good ground and then it was watered and tended and it's growing into something. That's awesome. Veterans for Child Rescue. Vets, the number 4, childrescue.org. Son, you are on my last nerve. Even the turkey doesn't like you anymore. It's gonna. It might be today. It might be today. That's the John Wick rooster. Vets for childrescue.org. Hardcore people doing hardcore good for trafficked kids. Go check them out. Tell them Bear sent you. Stick that turkey on them. Chicken dinner. You know how Harvest Song, you know how much chicken I have? A literal ton. I have a literal ton of chicken.
If there were little tiny cows running around out there, they'd be dead already. Grindstone Ministries, which is our charitable organization to support Grindstone. You can check us out at grindstoneministries.com. Yeah, it's been a late day. What time is it?
9:15.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can drink disastercoffee.com. You can wear sanctifiedsupplyco.com and be lifting them up in prayer. Jerry and Lucia, Sanctified Supply Co. They're bugging out right now. So lift them up in prayer. And amendment, the number one, preparedness.com, A1P. Bless y'all. Let's see. A lot of y'all have food storage questions. We just reposted on Patreon this morning how to bucket wheat, and yesterday how to buy wheat. So a lot of y'all have been asking that question. You can sign up for Patreon right now. You can get 10 months for the price of 12. If you sign up for the year, it's $10 for the year at the $1 level. How do you buy wheat? Posted yesterday. How do you bucket wheat? Posted this morning. They were reposts, but they posted again. And then for the $5 and up patrons at the end of this month, we're giving this away. This is $900 worth of plate carrier, panel, cummerbund, aka Frank, front panel. Cheryl Beth, bless you. Thank you. The IFAC, the zip-on pack on the back, level 3 plus plates from AdventureFrontier.com, trauma pads, this whole thing right here. This is $900 worth of value. One lucky patron will win that at the end of this month at the $5 and up level. You got to be signed up, so go to Patreon, find the post. We appreciate you. And again, thank you, Bear Nation, for turning out last night on the live stream with Angry American. Y'all are awesome, and I really appreciate you. I love it that people know when the Bear Nation is in the house. Like, that's awesome. So with that, I got to pray, and I got to hit the road. Are you okay over there, honey? You sure? Who sent that?
This lady that reached out to us for making the cookbook.
Oh, for the cookbook?
Yeah.
That's a good logo. Can y'all see that? Tactically cooking with the Bear Clan. That's awesome. Let's pray. Good morning, Father Yah. First and foremost, we just lift up everybody to you out there on the West Coast who's dealing with these fires. I pray that you'd get them to safety. We have people out there, Father. They're your people and they're our people. And so we ask selfishly that your will would be that they get out of there and that you steward them and guide them to a place of safety. I selfishly pray justice on the people who set those fires, Father. And I pray that you'd be indwelt in this land and that you would bring your judgment, because I fear that we're getting to the point of no return. Father, thank you for this Bear Nation. Thank you for these people. Thank you for convicting us concerning sin and righteousness and judgment, Father. And thank you for giving us a life and showing us how to live it. Father, if there's anything within me or anything within the sound of my voice that's not of you, I rebuke it in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach. Command it to flee. I pray that you'd fill us up with your Ruach HaKodesh, your Holy Spirit, to be indwelt in us for wisdom and discernment, for strength and power and authority, for love and compassion, for comfort and healing, Father, that you would use us to minister to your people, that you would walk with us and teach us how to live this life, and that you would allow us to steward this place until you come back and set this whole mess to rights. Father, I pray that you'd continue to convict us as how to move with everything that's going on in the world, where to be, what to do, how to prepare, and that we would be the light
that you would use us to serve your kingdom. Father, thank you for the opportunity to do this. Teach us how to be biblically strong men, how to lead your people, how to be up to the task set before us, and how to carry the burdens that you give us, that it would be a pleasure to be in a position of leadership and headship and stewardship, and that you would be with us as we go about the business of doing our broken best to put a smile on your face every day. I ask all these things in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach. Amen. Bless y'all, Bear Nation. Y'all are the best. Have a blessed Sabbath. We got stuff to do. Shalom.